Welcome to Bring Out Your Badass Self, a movement to break your negative thoughts and habits and instead focus on building each other up and encouraging fearless authenticity.
Each week, we will get vulnerable and share experiences alongside our guests and audience. Come rediscover your inner badass self.
Good morning, badass.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well. I am excited and happy for this wonderful Friday.
Yay.
How are you?
You know, I am doing much better this day. I had a rough week and a rough weekend, honestly. And so a lot of emotions and feelings that I hadn't had in a long time just emerged. And luckily, I was able to also talk with Deborah, who's Deborah Lukovich. She's a depth psychologist. I meet with her every other week. And normally we just talk about dreams and all kinds of fun things. But this week I broke down. And so there's just so much going on. We have a consultant that's leaving, had to fire a client, just like all the different things going on in my life. And I was overwhelmed.
Yeah. I'm glad that you felt safe to do that with her. And what good timing, right? Like it could have been an off week, where you didn't meet her and, thanks for sharing that. Like everybody breaks down once in a while, right? Even the strongest of us.
I know. And that's the funny part is that I feel like sometimes especially with what I do, I have to be the strong, confident one. And I am. Well, I am the strong, confident one. But sometimes it's like when you are the fixer, the problem solver, the person that has to hold everybody else up, it's like sometimes who do I have to hold me up?
Right. When can I just when can someone else be strong for me?
Yep. Yeah. And that's why today's discussion is going to be interesting because I had to think about clarity versus action this week as well. But before we get into that, Valentine's Day just happened this last week. And so, Kate, what did you and your lover do?
We had a great time. We had a little competition amongst ourselves, which was very fun. And it was a little sexy. It was a little, spontaneous. So it was great. We enjoyed it. So there was no gifts exchanged, but there was a lot of fun had. And then we also had...
And given, maybe?
What? And given? Yes, exactly.
Sweet.
And then we had a kiddo celebration too. So Jenna loves to spend holidays with the kids, even if, so Valentine's, she loves to do something special with them. So we had our friend Ori and her girls come over, and then she did heart-shaped pizzas and chocolate covered strawberries and all sorts of fun stuff. And then we watched The Princess Bride, which is a great love story, right? Have you watched The Princess Bride?
Umpteen million times.
Right, of course, yes. So we were all quoting it. We were all doing our thing. It was so fun.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that movie. And so I remember, so I was in theater after in college, and we would watch that show. And every time the guy would say, "My name is," and I always forget his name, never can say it. Prepare to die. And so Prepare to Die. Every time he did that, it was considered you got a drink. So
Yes. Oh yeah, that would be a great drinking game. Yeah, once I watch it for a couple months, I say it frequently, and I really love the end when he's like really into it, So I like it when he's like, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya,"
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yes, so good. Uh,
Funny enough, that guy, I ended up watching a TV series. I was like, oh, wait, that's the guy from Princess Bride.
yes.
I love this criminal. No, is it
Yes, Criminal Minds, Mandy
Criminal Minds? I
Patinkin.
love that show.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin. And he has a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, singing voice. Like, have you heard him?
No.
You need to. Yeah, it is
Wow.
beautiful. Like Brock, beautiful.
Wow.
Like, but he also can go really high. Like, soprano-ish, or I don't know if, you know more than I do about that, but it's just beautiful. So look up Mandy Patinkin and watch some of his stuff, because you will be blown away.
Yeah. Well, before we get into saying hello to everyone, I did just want to share this. So for my Valentine's, my husband and I do not celebrate Valentine's Day. We find the whole holiday ridiculous.
Little too commercial. Yeah.
Yes. And so we're just like, I'm like, it's okay. I don't care. And, but my daughter, however, she bought me her first card ever, like with her own money, I think. And then also on her own, and she gave it to me, and it says, Mom, for all the love you've given me over the years.
Aww.
It said, payback time. Love you. Happy Valentine's Day. So
it's so cute.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and Riley's love language is gift giving. And so that means, that's a little extra special, because she was like, okay, what can I give my mom? So she knows that I'm thinking about her. So I love that.
Exactly. I loved that. Well, man, we got lots of people coming in today. So let's say hello. So Myra is coming from Tennessee. She says, good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning, Myra.
Welcome, Myra. So glad to see you. And Tanya is back. Welcome. She says, good morning. And then so that's Facebook, LinkedIn, and then we got YouTube. Good morning, ladies. Sending virtual hugs from Jen. So good to see you, Jen. And we also have Maria Martin, also morning. So I'm so glad she told me that her meetings have changed, and so now she'll be able to come on Fridays. So that's awesome. We do have someone. I wonder if this is Carmen. She said, good morning, my favorite beautiful badasses. And so
good morning, Carmen.
I think that's Carmen. So good morning, Carmen. And Eric is with us. Good badass morning. And so I actually messaged a couple of individuals. There's a SMPS. So I used to be really involved with SMPS, which is a marketing organization in Atlanta. And Eric, I messaged him and Lee and Carrie, and I was like, hey, are you guys going to this event? We were like, can the old SMPSers come to this event? So I think Carrie and I are going to go down there. We've agreed. We have it on our calendar. Carrie that normally shows up on this. And so I'm also our friend Lee, I'm trying to see if she's going to go as well, but Eric will be there. And so
awesome.
I'm glad I'll be able to see him in person. And
love it.
So a couple of things from Tanya, by the way. She said the Princess Bride is her favorite. And she also said he's on TikTok. So
Mandy Patinkin. Yeah. Patinkin. I don't know that I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he has a beautiful wife that they've been married for many, many years, and they will dance sometimes, and it's wonderful.
Nice. And Renee is joining us. So good morning, Renee. It's great to see you. And he said, shout out, Sarah. So Renee, is this your first time coming to the show? You and I have chatted, but I feel like this is the first time actually coming to the show. So thank you for that. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you every Friday with us and having some fun. And so Kim is joining us. She said, good morning, beautiful badasses. Happy Friday. And then
Kim.
And she said, so sweet. Love, Riley. So Kim actually, before she started to work at our company, she was a tutor for Riley. And her and Riley, she was just so good with Riley. And I actually credit Kim for helping Riley actually enjoy learning again. Just because Riley had gotten so down on herself as far as reading and things like that. And Kim is just such a nurturing person that I really do credit her for really helping her to, I think, enjoy learning again, even though she
Yeah.
doesn't really want to go to school. But I noticed a turnaround because of her with Riley in school. So
Ah,
she's
Kim's
so
so
sweet.
awesome. I
Yeah.
miss her.
My mother is here. She said, love you too.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hi, Mom.
And Eric said woot woot about us going down there.
Yeah.
And Renee said, yes, this is his first time. So thanks for the invite. So
Yeah. So nice of you guys to say hi. Thank you so much. It's always wonderful to see your faces and to connect, even if we don't get to connect, any other time during the week. At least we see your awesome faces on Friday mornings.
Yeah. And so, well, we do have a special treat today.
Yes.
And so I would like to sort of play our song. So welcome back to Brock Lucas, who has done our song for today. And so we always try to, a part of each show, as we have guest speakers, for example, we always try to have them illustrate a gift or a talent. And then each time we do something, we try to do something different. So it might be music that inspires whatever we're doing. We've also done poems and just artwork and different things like that.
Right.
So today I had asked Brock and I got him to do a song for us on today's topic. So you ready to hear that?
I am. I love me some Brock, so I am super excited. This is just an amazing rendition of this song. Dodie says, good morning, y'all. Good morning, Dodie.
Yay. Oh, you see, you can do that stuff while I'm doing other stuff. See, so this is the first time that Kate has been logged in at the same time, seeing all the back end items. So it's exciting. I was like, oh, you just pull up that comment while I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So Brock, I asked him to do the song I Can See Clearly Now, which is very appropriate for today's topic. And I told him, do what you want, make it your own. And he did. And so let's go ahead and listen to that, and then we'll talk about it.
See clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
His voice, talk about clarity. His voice is so clear. It's like gold. I think he to me, he sounds even sweeter than Paul McCartney. He's just got such a beautiful voice.
He does. I'm glad to have him be able to do today's song. And so
yes, thank you. Thank you for getting him to do that. It's beautiful.
It's awesome. Dodie's given hearts, and then Marina is also given hearts and cheers. So, and then we also have more people that have joined us. So welcome, Bruce. He said, "Hey, badasses, joining late but here now." So welcome.
Yeah.
Super excited to have you. And Lance is joining us. He said, beautiful.
Yeah.
And who's going to be here next week as well. She says, good morning.
Morning, Brenda Lise.
Yeah, lovely. And
Thank
so,
you.
I was looking for a song that complemented today's topic of clarity, and I happened to uh, across this song, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so perfect!" Because when
Mhm.
you think about the lyrics, it's talking about finding the clear. You know, when we think about taking action, we need to be able to see the clear or the obstacles. But we're going to
Right.
challenge that today on whether we really need that or not. But when people think about clarity, that's ultimately what they really think about.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And the song, you know, the song says, I can see all obstacles in my path.
Hmm.
You know, it was raining now, but the rain is gone. You know, um, it's a great song and message for, like, you know, all of the pivotal points that we have in our days and our you know, lifetime, right? Like it's relevant for like little decisions and huge ones, you know.
Yeah. So before we get too far in, I have a theory,
Okay.
and I want to test this out today. And
And
so,
And I want to preface
yeah.
that Sarah now refuses to tell me her theories prior to the show. So I am coming into this as blind as you all are, which is fine because I'm great on my feet. But if she has a theory, she will tell me. Now I have something, but I won't tell you. So she wants my real reaction, which I love. It's better for everything, I think, for the show. But it is kind of funny, right? That
It is.
yeah. But go
Yeah, so here's my theory. And so I'm going to ask you a question, and then I think throughout the show, it will become apparent why I asked this question. We'll be
okay.
able to come back to it. So the question I have for the audience and for Kate is, what do you fear more, success or
Ooh.
failure?
Ugh. Let's see. Man, that's a big one. That's intense. Hmm.
Hmm.
What do you fear more? You know, my gut says, like, of course I fear failure more, right? But um
Hmm.
it makes me think, right? It makes me totally think, because at the end of the day, success, especially with the goals that I have, um, there's riders, right? There's things that are coming along with that success, right? So there's so many parallels to so many things in life, but you know, like in when there's riders along for the ride, meaning, like, you know, it's not solo. The success isn't in a vacuum. Most of the time, success comes with extra responsibilities and
Mhm.
burdens and, you know, opportunities, but you know, it's still more work most of the time.
Yeah. So Maria says success all day.
Nah, that was your gut instantly. You were like, oh, yep.
Yep. So I'm curious, what about other people's? What do you fear more, success or failure?
Yeah.
So Kate, if you had to choose one or the other for me, what do you think I would choose?
Ooh. Huh. Interesting. That's hard for me to decide. I think I don't think you're afraid of failure. I don't think you carry a lot of fear for failure. So I think it would have to be success as an elimination of failure.
You're correct. Yeah, I don't fear failure. I fear whenever I think sometimes about success, I think about the things that may happen. As an example, so when you are successful in different things, it's the things that you'll have to give up, or the things that you have to deal with that you used to not have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, um, this speaks to a lot to my emotions. So like, you know, for many years, I thought I was failing at being emotional or at feeling my emotions. I thought, and it turns out I was, but I was actually more afraid of what it would be like if I could handle those emotions, or if I could, if I got them out, what would that be like? Would I be safe? Would I be, still wrapped in love? Would people still want to be around me? Would they be shocked that, this like happy, joyful exterior has some darkness, those types of things.
Oh yeah.
So you can think of this as, you can analyze this from multiple different perspectives. A lot of times we think of like success in terms of our goals or our career or other things that we want to get done, the next level we want to get to. But it can also be about some internal stuff too. Like, are you living your best self? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you here for what you're feeling and thinking and acting upon?
Yeah. So are you going more with success or failure?
For me,
Yeah.
I'm going with success.
Okay.
Honestly, I sometimes wish I had a little bit more fear of failure. Because sometimes I am so impulsive. So I honestly wish sometimes I had a little bit more fear of failure.
Yeah.
So
we got lots of comments coming in.
Yeah.
So Renee, scary thing about success for me is questioning my capability to maintain the success. Yes.
Oh, Renee, this is huge. I was just, one of the things I wanted to bring up today is a situation I'm kind of in the middle of. I have this great therapeutic relationship with my therapist in a program that I'm involved in. And it's been life-changing for me. I've gotten, such great results, and the program includes like tools that you learn, and I've really mastered a lot of them. And so I'm at the point where, something's going to have to change because, I don't have enough to fill my therapy sessions with every week. And that's a good thing, right? But I'm terrified of the maintenance, like, because I know what I went through, right? Yeah. I know what it took to get here. And I know I know now the damage that my actions and my thoughts and my behaviors can have. And so
let me ask you that, is it maintaining success failure?
No.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. I'm like, because is it failure? The reason I'm asking that is because maintaining the success is that are you scared of failing? And because I see failure of like, you're successful, but then all of a sudden it drops off. So I'm wondering if that then goes back into failure.
Yeah, you know what? I think that is a good point, because I think in some ways, especially if it's new territory, the only thing you've built a history of is potentially the failures, right? Yeah. So when that becomes your norm, it's really hard to have the clarity, right? So yeah, in that instance, I think, that maintaining the success may very well be a fear of failure. Renee, does that resonate with you? I would be interested to see what you think, because in my situation, it did. But
yeah. It's funny. My daughter has to create a company in school. So she was talking about that. And I said, creating a company is easy. And she was like, what? And I go, yeah. I go, creating a company is easy. It's all the other stuff afterwards that's hard. It's the maintaining aspect. It's creating a company is super simple to do, but it's all the other stuff that you have to do to maintain. That's the hard part of the company.
Yeah, definitely.
So Megan says definitely failure.
Yeah.
So So I'll be interested as we go through to think about what the answers you've given, success and failure. So it depends on the day, Tanya says.
That's a great point too, because it depends on, it's not even just the day, right? It depends on so many things, right? Your
It does.
comfortability with the area, or your history, or your trauma, or your triggers. I mean, shit, there's probably a ton we could go into that are dependent factors, right?
And Lance says, I have fear of success because it comes with higher expectations that I haven't agreed to. Ooh.
Yeah, right. Because sometimes the end result is unknown, right? So the expectations are also unknown, and you weren't aligned prior. You didn't know
Or all of these people all of a sudden have this expectation. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know this was going to happen.
Exactly.
Or I didn't know it was going to feel like this, right?
Yeah.
You may have known on paper this is going to happen, but you may not know how it will feel until it's happening to you.
Yeah. So Bruce says, I'm a believer that the main component of success is the attitude. You place yourself in the state of mind where you expect it for yourself, and then find others with the same attitude to support you. So Bruce, is it success or failure for you? Which do you fear? Maria says, with failure, I can try again. Is there failure in success? Because I could have a paradigm shift. And Renee said, absolutely resonates. Thank you all.
Good.
And Tanya says, before I would just jump in without fear. Then after failing, I knew what I was going to get into, so I would hesitate.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the word clarity, and the reason, so it'll become clear on why I asked this question. So when we think about clarity, and we think about like the song that we just heard, clarity is clearness. That's ultimately what we're looking for. So when we think about clarity in different things in the world, so Brock, for example, the clarity of his voice, the pureness, the clearness of the voice. When we think about water running down a mountain and the clear water that is running down, the clearness of a diamond. And so when you think about the word clarity, people have this thought that it must be clear. Like all the obstacles must be out of my way. I have to understand all of the unknowns before I even get started.
Right. And so what are you trying to do in that instance? You're trying to ensure your success, right?
Yeah. And so when you start to think of some of the examples of areas you are or have struggled to find clarity in your life, what are those? And so the question is, what are some examples of areas you are or have struggled to find clarity in your life? And the main one that I tend to hear is our purpose in life. Like people are like, what's my purpose? What am I, why am I here? That's one of them. Can you think of other examples? And I'd like to hear also from the audience on things you're dealing with, or things maybe you have that you were like, oh yeah, whenever I reflect back on experiences, this was something I dealt with.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering. I want to dig in and talk about this question, but I'm wondering if I could pull in a past topic and something that I know is really near and dear to our hearts. I wonder how, for those of you that are into manifesting or really focused on the subconscious and the intuition, so kind of the power of energy and the power that we don't see, right?
Yeah.
How does that manifest itself in this topic, right? So like, a lot of times, like finances, right? So like that is an area I have often struggled to find clarity in my life around, and it's definitely a work in progress for me. But I also spend a fair amount of time manifesting or working on getting my attitude and my energy and attracting what I want, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I don't, I don't have the clarity yet. And I have a good idea that all of this energy work that I'm trying to do is going to get me to the clarity.
Mhm.
But I don't have the proof. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Finances is definitely one that I think, how do you improve, or how do you plan for finances? So getting clarity on that. I think some of the other ones that a lot of people might resonate with is my next career move. Um,
Right.
and then there's also relationships. How do I improve my relationship? Or what am I looking for in a mate? Or I'm thinking about leaving someone, and then
Right.
finding clarity in finding something healthier for yourself, or something more in line with what you're looking for. So I'm curious what other people. Let's go. So Bruce had said yes, it is the expectation is success. And so Tanya said, mine is messaging for my business. I have
Yeah.
to offer, but being clear because there is because so much is hard. Yeah. And so I think as we go through this today, my hope is, Tanya, that we help you with a little bit of clarity today as we start to go through this. So I'm curious what other things, other people have gone through. I can tell you with me in the past, it has been clarity in my purpose. It has been clarity in a relationship that maybe this wasn't the right relationship for me. And so it was identifying a lot of times, and this is where I think the next question is probably even more important. It has to do with understanding a little bit more about fear. So
Mhm.
what do you fear about the choice? To me, that's really where a lot of it becomes more apparent in
Mhm.
what it is. That's why I asked the initial question, sort of failure or success. But when you think about the choice that you have, so as an example, if we go back to Tanya's comment, she says is messaging for her business. She has lots to offer, but being clear because there is so much because there is so much that is hard. And so, what specifically is it that you fear in what it is that you're doing? Do you not
Mhm.
know? Is it the unknown of not knowing? Um, and a lot of times I find that sometimes it has to do with other things about the feeling of chaos, or feeling insecure, or what are the different things that you really fear as you're looking at things. And I can tell you, like in relationships and things like that, sometimes it's stability, or career, it's stability, it's the unknown of what's going to happen, all the chaos. And some of the other things that sometimes people fear is, maybe I know what I want to do and I'm excited about it, but then I also have other people that are telling me, I don't think this is going to work. And maybe it's the
Yeah.
I told you so.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm curious
Right.
with other people, when you think about your scenario that you're dealing with today, what is then the fear of the choice? Is it the success, or is it the failure? And then also dig deeper, what further is the fear that you really have in whatever the choice is? Mhm.
Yeah, I think in business, right, we can often um we have to you lack clarity on whether a message is going to work, right?
Mhm.
Um and work is defined in multiple ways. But for most small businesses or startup businesses, which is what I'm assuming Tanya is involved in,
Yeah.
is, it's it is you don't have much room for failure,
Mm-hmm.
right? I love Maria's comment here. If you need clarity, then it's action time.
Yeah.
And the action is the next right thing.
Yeah. So that's actually was going to be the next question I was going to get to. But let me go to Tanya real quick. So feeling insecure about how to be succinct so that people can understand. So it really is about the messaging.
Messaging, right?
Yep. So I'll get into that here in a minute. Let me look at what Brenda Lee says. So she says, for me, it's about reflecting. Is the fear coming from a place of paralysis, or is the fear pushing me to take action? Yeah.
That's a great point, right?
Yep.
Because there's paralysis is a real thing, right? There's the inability to see clearly, so then you just do nothing, right?
Yep. Exactly. So today's question, the real question is, does clarity come before or after action? And Maria's already told us. For her, she said, if you need clarity, then it's action time. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? So Sandra says, mine used to be being all things to all people. This can only lead to failure. Inner healing gives me no fear either way. I love that.
Yeah, that's really great, Mom. So what I would think, and that's a great point for all of us. So if we do focus on ourselves,
Yes.
and, our purpose or our own healing, there's very little to be fearful of, right? You're not afraid of that. You're not afraid of your purpose. You may have some fear around like acting on it or other things, but like of your purpose yourself, you're most likely not afraid of, right?
Yeah. So I'm curious from other people, do you feel like clarity comes before or after action? So for me, I think it is a revolving circle. I think that I get a little clarity, I take action, and I should say I get clarity, I'm motivated, then I take action, and then it's a circle again. I get clarity, I get motivated, and I take action. And so when you think about, for me, the biggest thing is understanding your purpose. So if we get clarity on the purpose, so I think this is where, Tanya, for you, understanding what your real purpose is. So if you understand what your purpose is, you then get motivated and you become much more clear on what it is that you need to do. And so when we don't have clarity on the purpose, that's when we aren't able to sort of see the next steps or the plans. But I'll give you an example of, for example, Cate and I, when we started this particular live stream, it was a clarity for me. Like I said to myself, I got clear on the purpose. I was like, I wanted to help people find their inner badass self. And so for me, it was to help them learn that even though they may have gone through trauma or shit in their life, that I wanted to help them to grow and demonstrate through not only our experiences, through other people's experiences, that they can do it. I got clear on the purpose and I got motivated. And so like, I don't have a plan yet, but I know that this is what it is that I wanted to do. Now it was, I'm clear on my purpose. I'm now motivated. Now I'm thinking, what do I need to do? So first and foremost, I had to go ask Cate. Like, I was like, I immediately was like, Cate is the person that has to be my co-host. But if Cate said no, what would I have done? I would have been like, crap. Like now am I going to do it by myself? Am I going to find someone else?
Right.
So it's first just finding the clarity of, I think, the purpose right off the bat.
Right. For me, it is, it's definitely, I get clearer the more I act, right?
Mhm.
So, I think we're aligned there. I have to have faith in order to act, right? I have to
Mhm.
believe. I also have to make sure it aligns with my values, right? So that's very, very similar to what we're talking about, like your inner purpose, right?
Yeah.
But if it aligns with my values, if it's not going, if it's gonna and it furthers my purpose, then I have to act because I can't possibly analyze all of the outcomes. You
Yeah.
know, I also focus. I try very hard to focus solely on how I will feel when I'm there,
Mhm.
not about what's going to be happening to me or what I'm going to be doing for others,
Mm.
but based on, will it make me feel good? Will it make me happy? Will I have, will I feel joyful once I'm where I think I'm going, once the action leads me to a place.
Yeah.
And so there's, that is like, if I'm clear on that, if I have good faith in and I'm clear around, when I get there, I don't know exactly what it's going to be like, but I know that I will be glad I'm there. I know that it will feel better than something else, then that's enough clarity for me to take that first jump and
Mm.
act.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it is also clarity on who you are as a
Right.
person. So for me, keep in mind that this was a 4-year work in progress. Like the first thing that I did is I actually started a Facebook page that was called Sex Positive because of the experiences that I went through, the things that I learned. That's what I started with.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2020, I then ended up creating a smaller group that I was like, I want to have more positivity. And I want to find just a small group of people that we can help each other keep a positive mindset. So I then did that. And so it wasn't until 2023 that I had this. So here I've tried these different things. All of them were, I was clear on my purpose in the moment, and it's what I needed. But I never would have thought about this had I not taken the action and the purpose that I had in the moment. So,
Right.
Tanya, I think, it's finding who you are, how it is that you are different, and what it is that you bring is more the purpose in the message. It's, helping people is just a byproduct. Because Kate and I even said, I don't care if we help one person, great. But honestly, we said it's something we wanted for ourselves as well because we enjoy talking to each other. And hey, if we can help people along the way, because we think that we can help people, but that wasn't our purpose. It was, but it wasn't. It was like for us, it was helping us to grow as individuals.
Right. And for us, that was the badassery we were looking for, right?
Yeah.
Like to do this, we felt badass about it. We were like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And if kind of that worst case scenario thing, right? Like if at the end of this, what we get is an awesome time together and we both feel badass about it,
Yeah.
what that's enough, right?
Yeah. We just happened to also get other people that, were really like, oh, wow, this is, helping me. This is, you guys are entertaining. You guys are, you're fun. Oh, but you're also making me think. And so it's all of those different types of things that for us, it was just about being our authentic self and showing other people how to also just be out there and realize that we all have crap going on. That's what we wanted to normalize.
Right. Right. Exactly. Kind of normalize the fact that not everything is perfect. And the lines get messy, and they should, because we're all humans. We're not, just because I am a vendor and you are a client doesn't mean that we aren't humans, and that there isn't, like, our authentic selves are still involved in those relationships. And so we have to kind of, normalize that in and of itself.
Yeah. So whenever I think about clarity and purpose, for me, it is about the greater good. And the greater good could be for you, it could be for others. And so when you think about, when you get real clear on purpose, it is understanding more about yourself. It's understanding what really motivates you. And so for me, it was, I knew that there were a lot of people out there that had gone through crap, because the more and more I talked to people, I was like, wow, I'm like, everyone goes through crap. It might be through when they were young, it might be later on in their life, but we're all dealing with stuff. And it's like, how can we normalize that everybody goes through things and not feel shame, not feel guilt, and put, in a lot of ways, putting sort of your needs first.
Right.
Because if you can't help yourself, you can't help others.
Right. Right. So how do you, continue to go through whatever, like the fact that, we all go through stuff. How can you keep pulling out that badass self? How can you, because it's not done. You don't say like, okay, I'm here. I'm a badass now. Nothing can faze me. Right.
Yeah.
Life gets lifey. I had a friend that would say that to me. Life gets lifey, and no matter where you are, you still have those bumps and hurdles. And the trick is to keep bringing yourself back to, who am I? Where's my badass self? And how can I help, potentially others, but myself, by showing up as the badass that I am.
Yeah. So Tanya, I'd ask for you to maybe go back and rethink this. So my purpose is to support people, and I meet them where they are and can develop a customized plan. But for me, it's like, what makes Tanya? What makes you different than other people? What is it about you and about your experiences that allows you to be able to connect with people? So for me, a lot of times it's more being about how you developed as a person. That's how people are going to connect. That's the message.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Brenda Lee says, action first, clarity. Then in order to be clear, I make the decision to become clear, hence action.
Yeah. She's aligned with you in terms of it's cyclical, right? So
It is.
you got to act, you get a little bit of clarity. Then you got to act again.
Oh, Bruce said, free at last. Okay, full attention. So, Bruce, for you, the question is, does clarity come before or after action? So for me, it is secular. And so, but it's understanding, for me, first, the purpose. Then once, I think the plan becomes so much clearer the moment you understand your real purpose. Because then it's like, okay, so the next thing was, can Cate do it? Oh, Cate can do it? Okay, now what's next? Okay, now what's next? Now what's next? So It's like, I'm coming clear on the next action, the next plan, but I don't have the whole thing figured out right from the beginning. I've got to take it in little increments. And I think that, so I'm going to come back to the beginning. So success or failure. Here was my theory. Tell me whether you think it's correct or not. I think that people that fear success are not afraid of taking the first step in action. People that fear failure are afraid to take the first step in action.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably an accurate theory, because in my experience, those that don't fear failure, right?
Mhm.
They're willing to make that jump. For those that fear failure,
Mhm.
I'm interested to hear what they think about this theory,
Yeah.
right?
So, for example, who was it early on? Um, if she is still,
Megan.
who was it?
Megan said she
Yes. Megan originally said she feared failure. So I'm curious for you, is it fear of the starting? Do you
yeah,
have a hard time starting? Because for me, I don't have fear of failure. I'll start. Let's go. But I think it goes back to also what Renee was saying. It's the maintaining sometimes the success that sometimes, which I still sort of equate to failure. But for me, it's not really maintaining success. It is the things that I might have to give up because of the success, or the things that will change in my life because of success.
yeah. It also goes back to, that's a really great point, Sarah. And it goes back to what something Maria said. So she said, with failure, I can try again.
Mm-hmm.
And is there failure and success? Because I could have a paradigm shift. So, you know,
Yeah.
if the failure is where we're learning,
Mm-hmm.
How then do we not get to success without failing? Right.
Yep.
So, there's the paradigm shift.
Bruce also says sometimes you must act without a plan. And in addition, there can be adjustments along the way. Yep, very, very much what we're saying. And then, yes, failure is unavoidable. So you have to live with it and manage it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is success unavoidable?
Mm.
No, right? So those of us that fear success are fearing something that can be attainable, cannot be unattainable. It's just there, but failure is unavoidable. We all will fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes more sense to be afraid of success in some ways, because it's not a guarantee, where failure is actually a guarantee in some ways, right? We're all going to fail. That's something that we hold true, right? It's almost universal.
Yeah. So, for me, it's about the purpose, getting clear on your purpose. And if you don't understand that, that's when it's almost a non-starter. Like you don't feel motivated. So why, so that's why I think that most of the questions people end up having are, what is my purpose in life? It's like, what am I really passionate about? And
Right.
so until that happens, you try different things. Maybe in the moment, this is what you're passionate about. So focus on what it is you are passionate in the moment. And then things, I feel like, continuously reveal themselves.
Right. Yeah. Totally. As if there's this there's the dependency, right? So success is somewhat dependent, just what Bruce said,
Mm-hmm.
on failure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But failure is not dependent, you're not dependent on success in order to fail, right?
He said, I don't know of anyone accidentally succeeding in circumstances of real value. I don't know. What was the lady, Madame Curie? That was an accident. But look at the result. So I guess I'm going to go back with, I'm curious if people that are scared of failure, are you scared of starting? And the reason I brought this up is that I was talking with some different people, and they were like, oh, I just, I'm drawn this way, I don't know which way to go. And it's like, just take some action. Like, start one of them. It's okay if you stop and go, whoop, I guess this isn't what the direction I'm supposed to be heading. I'm going to go down a different path. So it's like, just start it. Just start with the one you're most passionate about. Try something. You're going to learn something from it. And then you readjust. I think sometimes it's the failure of, oh, well, will I potentially have negatively impacted maybe the ability that if I had done something else, I might negatively have impacted it, because people have seen the message and they're not interested. So therefore, now I don't have that audience. I think there's always the ability to come back. And I think that the right type of people, will continue to be attracted, for example, for messages and with trying something new. And a lot of times, if you just focus on what will make you feel like you are successful and not put the onus on other people, what is it about what you're doing will make you feel happy, successful? What are your values? Those types of things.
Yeah. Define that. What's it going to feel like? How do you need to feel when you're successful? Here's the other thing, is that I find that rarely do we don't define success as stagnant, right? So we get to a point that we define as successful, but most of us are focused on the next success, or we're not quite like satisfied quite yet, right? Because as we've been acting, we've been exposed to more, and it's evolving, right? So it's success is rarely truly attained, and if you think about it in one way, because you're on to the next.
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of times people get to what they see as success.
Yeah.
And they get all of the things that they thought that they wanted. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, all of this money or all of this fame or all of these things were really not what I really wanted. So it is also interesting to also see people adjust once they get certain things. They then go, oh, but is this really fulfilling me? Is this really what I wanted? And again, back to your values and your purpose and what it is that's important to you. And I think if you continue to grow in that way and understanding your values, because that's what I was dealing with, this week. And, I had to fire a client for the very first time, but we got very clear on our purpose. Our purpose is, we want to be able to help people in project-based businesses. And we also want to make sure we have open lines of communication with people.
That's
and this company was
our ability to help.
Yeah. And this person, it was an individual that was causing the challenges. And we got to a point that it's not worth it. Like, our sanity of life is not worth the money that we will make. And so we got very clear on the purpose of going back to our purpose in our business. It's not about money. It's about finding people that we enjoy working with, that we have fun with, and having fun in the work that we're doing, and also helping people. So it isn't, so the moment you then release some of the things you think you want, when in actuality, that's really sometimes not what's important in life, you then go, like all of a sudden I'm like, and everybody else is like, because we got clear on the purpose of what is important. We're like, we need to fire this client. Like, we just can't continue forward like this.
Right. And, to your point about, getting clear on the purpose and knowing where you want to be and who you are, when you get to that first point of success or feeling as though you're making the right decision, you weren't ever there before. So you couldn't have predicted this, right? You could not. So like for those that get to a point and then they realize, oh, this isn't fulfilling me, that doesn't mean that you have failed in any way. It
Mhm.
means that you are gaining more clarity, redefining where are we going
Yeah.
now,
And I love what Brenda Lee says here. She says, a lot of the time we try to leverage success as the ultimate state of happiness, when in reality, happiness is within us first and then through what we do.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
Right. Because if you are happy internally, if you are
Yes.
happy, your happiness can't go anywhere else except into your actions. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that a lot of times it's finding ourselves, finding our purpose and what it is that makes us happy. And the moment we find that purpose in life, that's when we can start to branch out and really help others.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So here's my question. What do you think about playing the song again and then ending for the day?
Sure. Yeah, I think it'd be great. The song is so beautiful, and it's a great way to kind of ease into the rest of your Friday, be inspired by it, and look for those sunshiny days.
Yeah, I really want to thank everyone for the interaction today. So we love that, by the way.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That really sort of fills our hearts in just being able to communicate with other people and get their thoughts. And I just love the different things that we got from everyone.
Yeah, we try hard not to script really much of this out at all. Sometimes not, we have a topic, we've done our research, we have ideas around it, we come ready to discuss it, but our goal is to be genuine and authentic. So, that can't happen sometimes with a script, right? So we have to, so we depend on each other to be our badass selves, and we, are hopeful that our audience will do the same. And you are living up to your end of the bargain, which we really appreciate.
Yeah. We have questions in mind or things that we want to pose, but we just never know where it'll go. So
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
So,
all right. That's a part of authenticity.
It is. So, well, let's end with Brock Lucas today with I Can See Clearly Now. And hopefully this provides you a little bit more clarity into the weekend, provides you motivation and whatever things that you're dealing with in your life. And it also fuels you for your Monday for next week as well.
Yep. Keep spreading the badassery, people.
All right, here we go.
See clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Awesome. Have a great badass weekend.
Yeah. Thank you all.